Hello everybody! As you can see from the title, we're going to start a new series here, and I just want to do a quick little rundown of what that's going to entail. As you can see, the series is called Between the Trees. It's basically what we were originally going to do with college basketball 2017, and then I never really got back around to it. I won't do it as a tutorial this time. I know someone mentioned that about most people watching and blah blah blah. Anyways. So I just want to do a quick breakdown of how this is going to run, and if you have any suggestions, you can of course leave them, and we'll change stuff on the fly if we have to. Alright, we'll pop that up. There it is, the Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2018. Yay! Yeah, we're using the, I decided to use the new game. We're not using the old save file. You can now, as you can see on there, import a file from CB17, as well as many other changes we'll probably get around to seeing as we play through the game. I'm not really going to cover them. Again, you can either look it up, but there's a blog post, and I may put the link into that, or again, we'll just probably come across a lot of them in the game. What we are going to do is basically we'll do. I really don't count how many episodes will be in a season. I'm figuring we'll probably do we'll do an introduction video once we get done with this, just kind of showing my coach and stuff and the system we're going to run. And then we'll probably buy reports and get into recruiting. At least instead of recruiting, then we'll do an episode on recruiting. But normally what most seasons will be is we'll probably do we'll do the start of the season where we buy our reports, talk to the AD about what we're going to schedule. We'll look at the team for that year. At least in the off season, it obviously changes a lot when recruiting starts, or there's a certain time I remember in the game, and often the ratings will change a little bit. That'll be usually our first episode, is just kind of looking at that stuff. Then after that, we may do transfers in that episode as well. I'm not sure. We may do a separate. We'll probably do them in there. I don't do a lot of transfers, so. And again, after that, we'll do a episode on recruiting, which just kind of covers what we're looking at recruiting, who's interested, and blah blah blah. Once that one is done, that'll probably sim along for a while till really the start of the season. I believe. I have to remember my scheduling in the game. It's been a while since I've played college basketball. I can't remember if I think recruiting when the first signing period is, but we'll cover that when we get to it. Look at the recruits we had signed, if we signed any, and who we're currently looking at. We're not going to play all the games. Obviously, that would take too goddamn long. What we will do is we'll do the first game of the season. We'll actually show live. We'll probably watch any major non-conference games, which early on we're going to be playing a small school, so there won't really be very many of those, because any of the big teams we play in non-conference are probably going to kick our ass. But when we get to like a mid-major or major school, there may be a few real big games we'll play against, like a big ranked opponent or something, or someone that'll, matter. Other than that, the next game we would play or watch, how we want to phrase it, would probably be we'll do the start of conference season. Again, then we'll kind of go through that. If there is a big conference game, like we're fighting for the conference title and we're playing someone that's number 2 or whatever, we may watch that. But for the most part, we'll kind of just go through that. We'll probably watch the conference tournament games, just because those are really kind of the more important games, especially early on when we're going to be a small school where we need to win the tournament more to get into the NCAA. We need to win the conference to get the NIT, but picky. I'm always picky, even to myself. We'll probably watch the selection show. F it, we'll watch the selection show. And then, of course, any NCAA tournament games we'll watch. NIT we can. It'll just kind of depend on if anyone cares. Some of the third and fourth tier tournaments, like the CBI and CIT, I don't really see a reason for us to. But again, if you care, we'll look at it. But yeah, so the most part, we're going to have a few episodes of live games. A lot of it's going to be recaps. So I'll come up and show, hey, here's what's happened since the last video, and we'll look at the stats for players, any major developments, and so on. Kind of look around the league, that sort of kind of recap video. Look at how our recruiting's going, etc., etc., etc. You kind of get where I'm going with that. So that's basically it. You're basically going to have start of season video, which kind of covers the team and all that sort of stuff, and look at what we have, and so on and so on. Then we'll do a recruiting video at the start of recruiting. We'll probably do start of the season and do a recruiting update at the start of the season. Watch the start of the season game. We'll probably then go through. We'll look at signing day, the early signing day. If we have anything important in early signing day, otherwise we'll just pass through it. We'll play the first 1 or 2 conference games that we have, as well as, of course, like I said, any major non-conference games we have, but we won't have too many of those early on. So we'll play the first 1 or 2 conference games. We'll watch, and again we'll do a recap of kind of how the team did over the non-conference season, how our recruiting's going, looking at some of our recruits, and so on and so forth. If we have any major conference games during the conference season, we'll watch those. Again, it will depend. It will just depend on how we're doing. Probably early on in the videos, we won't have too many of those because our team's probably going to suck. Well, we may do like a mid-conference update. I'll probably do that, in fact. A mid-season conference update. If we don't watch a game, we'll still just kind of go like, hey, here's what's been going on, and maybe even like SAT time or something, which is like January 26th, which is more end of conference, but whatever. We'll kind of look at it and say like, hey, here's what's been going on. Again, look at how the team's doing, look at the players, their stats, and so on and so forth. Then we'll hop into conference tournament. We'll probably be in the next video, maybe, yeah, because that's end of conference. So it'll be conference tournament time. We will watch all of those games. And the usual, we'll have a recap. We'll have a recap before we watch them. And then, of course, we'll do the selection show, and we'll see if we're in any tournaments. We may watch those or just go through them and recap. And then we'll do the off-season, all the hirings and everything, and if we take a new job and all that sort of stuff. We'll do all that as one video, as a live-ish video. So I think I've stretched this video out long enough, doing 3 or 4 different times telling you what we're going to do, but there you go. So go ahead and, I've probably already been up there if it hasn't, but if it isn't, at the end of the video I'll put it in there. Go ahead and skip out over to the first episode here, where we'll talk about the rest of the thing. Laters.